All right. Hey guys. Hello. Welcome to another Back to Basics chat. Today I am here with Chrissy. Chrissy is, I would say, kind of a long-time client of sorts. She's worked with me in two different phases of her life. And that's why I wanted to have her on today, because I think a lot of women can relate to Chrissy and what she's going through, what she's been through. So she worked with me pre-pregnancy and did very well. And then she gave birth to a beautiful young girl named Savannah. And then she came back to work with me post-pregnancy. So we're kind of going to talk about like where she was pre-pregnancy, because she was trying to get pregnant. She was trying to get herself in like an optimal health place so that pregnancy would be easy. Well, as easy as pregnancy can be, let's be real. But just getting yourself in a good spot to be pregnant, where you were comfortable and things like that. And
Sure.
then after birth, like, again, why you came back to the program, or like what your needs were and what it's taught you and what's been successful for you. So, all right, so let's start so your daughter is 10 months old?
Yes, she'll be 10 months on Wednesday.
Okay, so she's 10 months old. So we worked together pre-pregnancy. So let's start with that one. We worked together for, that's been a while. What was it? Maybe like 5 months or so?
Yeah, 5 or 6. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we worked together 5 or 6 months, and then you were successful in getting pregnant.
Yes.
So let's talk about that one first. Like, what made you want to be in the best spot, I guess, for getting pregnant? Like, what were you experiencing, thoughts, things like that?
Sure. So obviously we were going through some struggles getting pregnant. So I was trying to do everything that I could possibly do in my part of the pregnancy to get pregnant. And I figured, okay, let's start with health and nutrition and all of the things. And my sister-in-law is one of your clients, and she had a really good success. So I said, okay, well, if she can do it, I'll give it a try. And I was successful, and I just used everything, all the tools that you taught me really, really helped in getting pregnant. So
good. And then,
but it was, I think the reason why I wanted to do it pre-pregnancy is so that I could have a healthy pregnancy and just make sure that I was doing everything that I could to have a healthy pregnancy to full term, and just make sure everything was good on my end. So
do you think like the stuff that we worked on pre-pregnancy helped you during pregnancy?
I would say definitely. I was more conscious of what I was putting into my body versus even starting with you. I would obviously sit down and have something sweet after every meal versus getting on your program and saying, okay, do I really need that? Or am I just wanting it out of habit? So I figured, during pregnancy, I would keep up with those things, and it really helped. I was able to, obviously gain the pregnancy weight, but other than that, I did really well. And I was walking and making sure I was keeping up with all of the just tools that I had pre-pregnancy that just really flowed over to pregnancy, just tracking what I was eating. Towards the end, I wasn't tracking because I was just,
But
I mean, but for the first couple of months, I was pretty on it. And I mean, it just walking and exercising and just trying to be as active as possible also was really, really helpful in my pregnancy.
So do you feel like you had a pretty good pregnancy?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, there were some complications with my daughter, but other than that, I mean, it was a pretty good pregnancy.
Like you just felt healthy throughout and good.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, everybody was like, wow, you look so good. I can't even believe she's almost here. Just things like that. They would compliment. Obviously, you tell every pregnant woman that, but it's just, I mean, I felt good. And I feel like after I gave birth, I was kind of not back to myself, but I was just, ready to get back with you for sure. So,
okay. All right. So let's go into that. So you started with me how many months postpartum?
I want to say it was 5 or 6 months postpartum.
Yeah. I think somewhere too. Okay.
Yeah. And I think I was trying to do it on my own, but I just needed someone to keep me accountable and just make sure that I truly was tracking and, just being active. I was walking, but I wasn't doing other like strength exercises. And so I think that, and cycling, I got a cycling bike. So that was really nice to have. But yeah, I think I wanted to get back just because I wasn't losing myself, but I wanted to do something for me outside of being a mom. I wanted to do something for myself. And it's hard to find the time, but I found the time, and I'm 10 months postpartum, and I feel better than the first time that we even started together. I want to say that was in 2021. So I feel even better than the first time we started together. So I'm pretty proud of myself. So
before having a baby. So good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about let's talk about this. Cause like every mom, I'm a mom, you're a mom, like that period after you have a baby, it's hard. Yeah. Cause you're just like the struggle of balancing a baby. You work full time as well. I mean, obviously you had your maternity leave, but then you had to go back to work, and you're working full time. You're trying to balance it, and you do lose yourself a little bit in there because it's just like everything's the baby, as it should be in the beginning.
Right.
You come to a point where it's just like you hit it, and you're like, okay, like I've got to find me. I've got to do something, because you're not going to be any good for anybody doing that. Yeah. So like, I guess maybe not your breaking point, but what was it for you that finally, like one day you're like, okay, this is like, I've got to get back to me. Like was it a specific event, or was it just a cumulative type thing? Like, where was it for you?
I think it was the fact that I knew before I was pregnant the things that I could accomplish, and like the mindset that I had, and I had like kind of lost that. And I was like, okay, I know I can do this. I just need to put myself out there and commit and do it and find the time, even though it's really hard to find the time. I don't think it was necessarily like one big event. It was more of just everything just piled on top. And I was like, all right, I need to do something for myself. I don't think it was one big thing. I think it was just all together, just trying to find time for me, that I really needed to commit and just get back with it.
So tell me that. So how did you, because that's a big thing. That's a big pushback, I think, from a lot of moms. It's like, I don't have the time. And I always try to tell moms, like, I'm very empathetic to it because I've been there.
100%.
But in the same token, you have to make the time, just like anything else. Like, we all get it. Everybody's busy, and busy is relative and it's subjective, right? It depends on what's important to you that you're making time for. So like, what were some things that you started doing in your schedule, tips, I guess, that you have, or tools that work for you to change that mindset a little bit and start making that time?
Yeah. Well, my daughter is very good at napping. So I used nap time to my advantage. I would, I meal prep during nap time. I try to work out during nap time, but I also made a schedule with my husband. And I know, that might not work for a lot of people. But I told him at this time during this day, I'm going to exercise, or I'm going on a walk. If she goes with me, that's fine. You go with me, that's fine. But I'm definitely going at this time every day. And it worked. And obviously when it rains, I go downstairs and cycle, or do something else. But during that time, I put my audiobook in and I go and I listen to that Atomic Habits. And I think that really it changed my whole mindset, of things. And just like when I get up in the morning, I used to sit there and scroll for a few minutes before I even got out of bed. And I was like, why am I doing this? Just things like that. So now I get up, I brush my teeth, I do all of those things. And then I might look at my phone even before I even leave for work, or I might not. So it's just changing your mindset, I think, and just making, if you want it, you'll, just like if you want something to eat, or a sweet, you find time to eat that, but you don't find time to exercise. So I kind of flopped those things, and I made time for myself. And I know that it was hard, and, sometimes it didn't work out, or sometimes, she didn't nap or whatever. So I tried to make do. I would wear her while I worked out. I would put her, and then she would most of the time fall asleep, and then I'd go put her down and I'd finish my workout. But I don't know, just trying to find the balance, I think it's hard, but once you get in your groove, it's just, now I if I miss a day, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to figure out how I can get that back, or how I can, it's interesting once you like find a schedule and you get in your rhythm, and then one day happens or you miss, just like you never miss 2 days in a row. I try to do that as well. So it's hard, but it's worth it. And I guess my thing is just make time for yourself and tell your partner, this is when I'm doing it. I hope this works. So, but I found the time. So
also though, in that, I mean, I agree. So having a schedule, I think a lot of moms put a lot of pressure on themselves though, to like have the schedule. And if they can't hit that schedule exactly, they like throw in the towel. And it's like you said, being flexible. Okay, so I'm supposed to go for a walk today, but I can't get a walk in because it's raining. So instead of just throwing it in the F it bucket,
right.
whatever, I go downstairs and I get on my bike, or
Yes.
maybe get down and do like some yoga with the baby. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And just being flexible, because when you have a kid, like, schedules go out the door.
They do. They really do.
It's 100%. Last week I was thinking to myself, like, I'm gonna have this great workout week. Like, my week looks great, and then my kid gets sick, and I missed 2 days of working out. And instead of just like, because a lot of people will let that just completely derail them. You know what I'm saying? Go off, and you can't. And I love that in the Atomic Habits is just never miss twice, right?
Yeah.
If you have a bad meal off, so what? Just don't have two in a row off, right?
Yeah.
If we miss one workout, okay, so what? Just don't miss two, that kind of thing. And I think that's a great, like you said, that's a great mind shift, a great mentality to have, just to, and be flexible, have grace with yourself.
Right. And I think that's what, in the past, I feel like I would like sabotage myself and say, okay, well, I missed a workout, so I'm just going to go ahead and have that junk food or whatnot. And now I missed a workout, so now I need to have 3 cups of vegetables or, whatever. I try to make sure that I have, shift that a little bit. Or I did find some walking workouts on YouTube. And so I've been doing those, if it is raining outside, at least I get some steps in, I'm moving. And those have been really helpful. I know it looks really silly at home, but it's,
those are great. Yeah. I reckon
so.
If you don't have a treadmill or any kind of equipment, there's so many resources out there. Think just to move and get you going. And it may not be the best workout ever, but you're moving.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like that's probably one thing that also kind of is put in my mind is it doesn't have to be a full out 30-minute workout. It can just be, 10, 15 minutes of pushing really hard versus staying in the gym for like an hour or cycling for a long time. That shifted my mind too, because I figured, I found this 30-minute, I'm doing a 30-minute workout for, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And so it worked for me. And it just is nice to have that to look forward to as well as a stress reliever too from work and everything else. So just your time to be you and not mom and not wife and not all the things, just taking time for yourself is really nice. So
what about like the food prep part of it? So where you talk about about exercise, making that time. So let's say you just don't have time for exercise. The one thing I always say is, okay, we can't get exercise in. We can 100% control the food that we eat.
Yes.
So how do you work on like your food choices, your meal prepping, your things like that? 10-month-old with working a full-time job, with trying to live a life and have balance.
Yeah.
What are some tips that work for you?
So, pause. Sorry. Can you hear her?
Yeah.
Sorry. Mom. Yeah. Can you go grab her? Sorry. I'm gonna have to cut this part.
No, this is why we're going to talk, because this is
real life.
Yeah.
Well, meal prepping, we go to the grocery together, my husband and I, just because it's easier to tackle together. It takes less time. Sometimes, like this morning, I did a click list, minute things that we forgot from the grocery. But usually on Sundays, I meal prep, and I meal prep the same thing for lunch and breakfast. And so I like it. It's fine. I'm in that boring phase, but it's not boring. Everyone's like, why are you eating that again for lunch? But to me, I really enjoy it. And I know the proteins, I know everything that's in it. But for dinner, we have a dinner menu that we can go off of. And I think right now I'm in the phase of my daughter eats whatever we eat. And so that is really easy compared to a few months ago when I was trying to figure out, okay, well, what time is she going to eat? What time are we eating? And, you know, that kind of thing. But as far as meal prep, I usually prep on Sundays for the week. And then I prep the meats, I prep the veggies, all the things, just in case our schedule does go away and we need a quick something to throw in. And usually my husband eats just whatever I fix or whatever is on the menu. So that really is helpful. So
you do it, you do it for the whole week?
I do.
Okay.
I do, only because the week is just crazy. Yeah. During the week, and then if we go out to eat or something during the week, if we meet family or whatever out, I usually look at the menu before and say, okay, well, I've been there before, I'm getting this. And that also is super helpful. So, and I usually try to track the night before. That's always a thing that I've learned too. And so tracking has helped. And if something goes, I know my breakfast and my lunch, the dinner is the only thing that's usually different. So
yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, that's what a lot of people like get stuck on the meal prepping and stuff. And okay, let's talk about that real quick and then we'll tie this up. So in the beginning, right, if you're changing your lifestyle, you're changing your food, meal prepping can be a little bit time consuming in the beginning, right? Sure. But would you agree with me in the fact that if you do it just like anything else and you keep practicing it, it gets better and it gets quicker if you know exactly what to do?
Yeah. I think now it takes me like maybe 30 minutes. Like I just pop everything in either the microwave. Here, Mom, I'll take her. You can bring her up there. Sorry, the last couple minutes might have her.
Yeah, that's fine.
Come here. Make your appearance. Here. Look. Hi. Look. Hello. I know. But I would say that, it takes me less than 30 minutes now to meal prep. It's super quick, super easy. Like you said, I know what I'm eating. I know what sorry. I know what I'm eating. I know everything. It seems, I know what I'm getting at the grocery. I know what to cook. I know how long it's going to take. To me, it's such a habit now that on Sundays, if I don't do it, it's like I'm missing something.
Right. Oh.
So sorry.
So I'm glad you said that, and I hope a lot of people hear that, because just like when you start this program, even though I feel like I work really hard on balance and helping people like make slow steps and change, it can be overwhelming in the beginning because you're making, but it does. And I try to tell clients it gets better, whether you're doing my program or not. Anytime you make any kind of change, you have that learning curve initially, right?
Yes.
But if you just like stick with it and keep doing it, it gets better, it gets easier. Sure. And you don't have to think.
I think that's 100% such a great point, is if you stick with it and you kind of just go with the flow at first and kind of really just commit to like one thing a week. Like, okay, this week I'm going to meal prep. Next week I'm going to meal prep and I'm going to make sure I get my workouts. The next one I'm going to meal prep, get my workouts and walk every day. I feel like that's, and then focus on really honing in on, okay, I need to get all my protein. I need to get all my water. I need to do this, and just taking it step by step. I figure, that's what I did at first. I didn't just jump full force because I think it's just too much, especially with the newborn.
Yeah. Right. And that's like going back to your workouts. Like we progressively built up your workouts.
Yes.
When you first back, when we first started putting it back in, we were walking. And then we put a workout, and then we gradually added in workouts as you felt like you could keep up with it in your schedule.
Yes. And I figured now I'm walking every day and doing 3 to 4 strength workouts.
Right.
So
yeah, that's what,
oh my gosh.
He's so cute. Oh, miss the whole baby.
I know. So sweet.
But that's, other people like do, again, I'm not doing these for my programs. I'm doing this to try and help educate women and advocate for women.
Yes.
But just no matter what, even if you're doing it on your own, have grace, have patience, just pick one thing at a time and get really good at that one, and then add in something else. Because yes, if you try to 180 it, that's where burnout occurs. That's where binging occurs. That's where just like
you just quit.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
goes out the door. So just small changes, consistent changes, realistic changes, and then things.
That's 100. I mean, it's just little by little. Just like when you start anything new, you just want to start little by little, and then then from there you can progressively grow, and then you'll see the results, physically, mentally, all of it. It all starts coming full circle, and you start seeing those results, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Good deal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me today.
Yes. And thank you for having us.
See her. Yes. Hi, Savannah. Oh. But okay. All right. Well, thank you. Gosh. And thanks for watching another Back to Basics chat. And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, sweet girl.
Thank you.